The Assassin of Old. It's really the only reason we're here. I'm way up here out in BFE. Northwest corner of the map. Yeah, kind of up the street from Markarth, sorta. Almost as far up here in the corner as you can go. Anyway, there's this Redoubt up here, and we took our token that we earned a couple missions ago with the Dark Brotherhood. It's this little thing that Gabriella gave us to go talk to Olava in Whiterun. And, you know, she told this ominous thing about, you know, a sanctuary, referring to the Dawnstar Sanctuary, kind of obviously, because we've already been there, so that was the obvious reference. And then a lot of blood. Well, we're in the Dark Brotherhood, so, well, we can expect all that. We'll see how that whole story plays out pretty soon, actually, because we're kind of at the end of that storyline. And, anyway, some other stuff, but it spoke of this ancient or old dark brother. Apparently one of the other Brotherhood assassins who left a bunch of his stuff up here. Now, I've been to this place without the Dark Brotherhood quest line, and I know the spot, sort of, where you go to find the loot that we're here for, and it's not there if you don't have the Dark Brotherhood quest active. So this isn't something that you can find about as a reference later from Olava. It's something that actually spawns with her giving you the little reading or fortune-telling or whatever they want to call it. Anyway, so I figured it was worth coming to grab that, and we might pick up some good stuff along the way. A little adventuring never hurt anybody. Up for a pretty good fight here, too. There's a lot of Forsworn here. Notice I went and picked up Uthgerd again. She still has the bug where she can't really take any damage anymore. I mean, she can draw their attention for a hit or two, but that's about it. She goes down almost immediately. Thanks to one of you guys, one of the viewers, found out that there is some kind of bug where if you hit a follower with mark for death, then essentially it degrades their armor, and their armor never comes back. He was saying something about there not being a fix for it. Usually there's some way, something that you can undo and then redo, you know, to fix things like that, but apparently there's not one. Well, I'll kind of take his word for it. Like I was saying, you know, we're going to go to Serana here pretty soon. I didn't really want to come here solo. I was feeling insecure, so I had to go grab Uthgerd again, but honestly, she's really not much of a help anymore. She can't really tank anything. It's really up to summons to do the tanking now. Atronax and use the Sanguine Rose and stuff, and there you go. But I can take a little bit on my own now. I'm not getting one-shotted by everything. It really did help a lot getting my light armor over that 80 mark. You know, this skill points for that, because now essentially my armor is doubled. My light armor rating, which is, you know, really low to start with, but when you double that, it's not bad. And I'll wait till it actually hits 100. And then I think I'm going to put actual light armor into my armor as an enchantment at some point. Maybe. Kind of up in the air on that. I'm not really... I wrote it down somewhere too. I don't have it on hand right here. But I did kind of sketch out what I was going to put on my stuff. I looked at what items could take what enchantments. Like rings and amulets are really good because they can take one-handed upgrades as well as archery upgrades also. Those are my two primary, I guess you say, offensive things that I do. And so I'll be, you know, I've already enchanted both of those, actually. That's already done. I already have my necklace and ring. But I have to think about my boots, gauntlets, headpiece, and main, you know, chest piece, armor set. And so I was like, yeah, well, what can we put on these? And if I recall, boots will take archery, but no one-handed, so I have to put something else on that. And then gauntlets are kind of the same. They take one-handed, but no archery. And then, I'm sorry, gauntlets, I believe, take both, and then it's the helmet that takes, it's something like that. Anyway, boots take only one of them, and then the helmet takes only one of them, and then I think the gauntlets, you can upgrade both. So, at some point, I should get a good 160% buff on both one-handed and archery. Anyway, that's kind of what it boiled down to. But there were some other spots to kind of fill in with the boots, you know, figure out something else I want to put up in there. Maybe just flat magic resistance, something like that. And maybe on the helmet also, instead of going like fire, frost, shock. Although, seems like I run into, say, I guess fire and frost most often. Shock does come into play, I guess, with mages mostly. You get these mages that shoot lightning bolts at you and all this crap. I don't know, but just overall magic to stack on top of the magic resistance the Breton already has helps. Although I'm not sure what all forms of magic that specifically resists against. I mean, I think it kind of says all magic, but then when you go to look at your actual... you know, if you're really resisting fire, frost, and shock individually, you know, sometimes it seems like it doesn't really apply to the... I don't know. Anyway, but I got to fill in those spots with something, so it'll probably come with some kind of resistance or something, or maybe just some bonus stamina. Never have too much of that, or even some bonus health, you know, or one of each or something. I don't know. And then I'd like to, oh, I don't know. I'm trying to think on my main armor what I had as an idea. Believe it was like light armor. Extra points, light armor rating, and then, oh, what was it? Maybe stamina regen? To make it go up, you know, quicker and stuff. Anyway, because that's really the pool that I draw from when I'm fighting, so. Anyway, just, I mapped it out. I'll go find it, and then when it actually comes time to do that, like I said, I want to get my light armor to 100 first. Smithing is right there. We're real close to 100. In fact, probably in between videos here, I'll probably go finally get it to an actual 100. Anyway, and the enchanting's been at 100 for a while, and so once I get all 3 of those, then I can fully enchant my gear. The only reason I'm really holding back, I haven't made my complete equipment set yet, is that I'm waiting for my light armor to get to 100, because I don't want to put a light armor enchantment on my gear and it keep me from actually pushing a full 100 on my actual skills. Not sure if it works in Skyrim like that. Don't really feel like testing it to find out. I'll just go ahead and just be patient. I'm getting by with the gear I have. It's not that big of a deal. But in Oblivion, it was like that. If you were at 80 and you added 20 points to, at a particular skill, whether it was conjuration or blocking, whatever, you know, it didn't matter. It would put that skill at 100 and it wouldn't progress anymore, no matter how much you exercised it. And Oblivion was kind of similar in that as you used something, it went up. And really, it was outside of your control, pretty much. Like athletics, for example, was a skill in Oblivion, and that came from you just running around. You know, it would just basically measure the distance you moved, and that counted towards your athletics. And I think, if I recall, jumping up and down and even taking some falls and stuff would count towards that also. But anyway, it would just go up as you went along, and so those skills would naturally progress you no matter what. But in Skyrim, the difference is all skills count towards your level. In Oblivion, the only skills that counted towards your actual leveling were your major skills. Your other skills, along with your major skills, counted towards was more of your attribute progress. It was pretty cool. Like, there were certain skills attributed to strength, right? And so if you would raise those particular skills up a total of, say, like 10 points, then you could raise strength by 5 points when you leveled. So you had to be careful with that. Unless, because you only had like 100 points total in each skill to raise altogether. So if during the course of one level, you raised a strength-related skill like 25 times, right? And it wasn't a major skill, not only would it not level you, right? But then when you actually wanted to raise the attribute attributed to that particular skill, you wouldn't, because once it finally get to 100, it wouldn't go up anymore, and you couldn't count that towards your particular attribute. Although there were specialized spells that you could make where you could reduce your own skill. You could curse yourself and reduce, say, your strength by 20, and then you could go train in a strength-related skill or something, or go do something strength-related, and it would go up while that spell was active. But there was sometimes a lot of grinding involved in that. Anyway, I mean, there was ways you could still train and stuff once it got there. It just made it a lot more tedious. Anyway, it was really cool leveling system. I know that all, if you're not familiar with it, that would all sound kind of confusing and stuff. But once you kind of got the hang of it, it was almost a mini game in the game itself to min-max your level. In other words, not spend too many strength-related points in between levels, so that you could get the maximum out of, say, strength. I'm just saying strength for an example, but you also had endurance, and you had speed, and you had, agility, and all that kind of stuff. And there were skills related to it, so you didn't want to exercise any particular skill too much in between levels, so that you can maximize being able to raise those skills. Like sometimes, say for example, between level 6 and 7, I would say, okay, I want to raise my agility by 5 points, my luck by a point. You can never raise your luck by any more than 1 point per level. So if you wanted to max that out at 100, you literally had to start out with a particular star sign, if I recall correctly, and then literally do luck every single level, and then try to just raise 2 other attributes, a maximum of 5 points, because you could only raise 3 total attributes, period, during a level. And so I would say, okay, I want to raise, say, luck 1, so I wouldn't worry about anything luck related, and then I would say I want to raise, say, strength and endurance. So I would only exercise, like, you know, blunt weapons, blades, and then I would only exercise, like, for endurance, say, like heavy armor, and I think it was armor, you know, like blacksmithing, and which would come naturally from even repairing your gear and stuff. So that was a tricky one, to sit there and make that a major skill and keep it down to where you didn't out-level yourself repairing your stuff all the time and smithing all the time, while you were still trying to develop your other skills too. So it was really cool. It was like a mini game. You had to think about it as you went and be careful to sometimes switch weapons and switch to different things. Like this was a major skill and this wasn't. So anytime you leveled this up, it counted towards your level, and when you use this, it didn't. So I've already got 8 points towards strength, but I need 2 more. But if I put 1 more major point into anything, I'm going to level. So I'd have to go find something not major to go exercise for a minute to get that 2 more points towards strength, and then go exercise a particular major skill, whatever it might be, to actually level. And then when I leveled, I could put 5 points towards that. Because if you raised something by 9, it would only give you 4. It had to be an even. It was anyway. It was for those of you familiar with Oblivion, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was cool. It was cool. It was like a mini game within the game. But Skyrim's different. Skyrim, you just levels, you go regardless. Basically, everything in Skyrim is a major skill. Some count a little more than others. Like I've noticed, like sneaking and blacksmithing and what is it? One-handed, I think archery. Give you a little more credit on the bar when they go up a point than other things like I don't know, pickpocketing or even two-handed weapons don't seem to give you as much credit as one-handed weapons for whatever reason. So I mean, they don't. I don't think they go up any slower. I think they have the same damage scaling for each point, but I don't think they count towards your overall level. Like you'll notice when you go up a point in a skill, it'll say that skill went from, say, like 29 to 30, but then you'll see your actual character level goes up a notch, and sometimes it seems to go up farther with certain skills than it does with others. Like some are considered, I guess, major and some minor or something, but they all count towards your level regardless, so they're all kind of counted as major skills. That's pretty cool. Alright, so anyway, we made it through that whole thing in there. We come out here into this vale, and I was looking, I'm like, wow, this is really kind of cool. It's like this little oasis, but it's a snowy oasis for these guys. But we can probably expect to see quite a few Forsworn in here. That's not so cool. See if we can't find any worthwhile loot while we're here. That's all that's really important when it comes down to it. It's kind of the whole reason we're here anyway. Let's go get that ancient Dark Brotherhood assassin stuff. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and give Uthgerd a hand because, like I say, she's getting 1 and 2 shot. She has apparently no defenses whatsoever. Don't recall ever having encountered this serious a problem with her, ever. And like I said, one of the viewers said, well, it's your fault. You hit her with Mark for death, and now it sticks. Now it's permanent. And I'm like, really? Alright, well. If this was really early in the game, and we weren't doing a Let's Play on this, I am not lying. I would load all the way back to wherever that might have happened, reload before that point, and just basically redone everything. Well, I mean, to an extent, I don't know. You know, maybe if I passed 30 or 40 levels worth of, you know, questing, probably not, but I think I noticed that pretty quick. She went from being super tank to being wet toilet paper, and I'm like, what the hell happened to my Uthgerd? That's not cool. And boy, someone just hit the shit out of me with an arrow. Okay, alright, dude. Well, I'm gonna hit him one more time, or he's gonna hit me one more time. That was close. That's good. I don't mind healing when I can. Restoration is going up slowly. Restoration is one of those skills that really gives you chunks towards your leveling, but it goes up so slow. Destruction is the same. In fact, I think Destruction, in my opinion, goes up the slowest. Even when you try to grind it, it seems the slowest and most tedious of all the skills, in my opinion. Because haven't really found any combination of spells, never really did, that will actually make it go up any significant amount. And then when it does, it doesn't seem to count much towards your level either. You would think that would be the primary magic, you know, fighting skill or spell school, and I don't know, doesn't seem to count much at all towards your leveling. I know, because I'll go train like 5 times and my level bar barely moves. Then I'll go train 5 times in like light armor, whatever, and my level bar just jumps. So offense-wise, even after we get done making our gear and fully enchant it, we get all, you know, the one-handed archery upgrades, blah blah blah. Even then, honestly, it's not going to be too much stronger than I am now. What'll probably make more difference than anything is the base weapon damage and overall weapon damage from a doubly enchanted weapons, assuming I put damage enchantments on both. Which I probably will. I probably won't worry so much about soul trapping anymore. We did get the... really, dude? So you can move faster than I can run forward, running backward, with your bow drawn. Okay, alright. Well, I'm calling bullshit on that one. I'll tell you what. Okay, I can exploit the cheese, too. Let me throw this paralysis potion on the sword. I got something for you. And all that speedy moving around isn't going to help you much when you're just laying there. Cheating bitch. There you go. You like that? Like that? How'd that feel? Huh? Run around and zip around and be super hamster on crack running backwards now while you're laying on the ground. Punk ass. I'll take your gear, too, while I'm at it. It's alright to beat me, just don't cheat me. That's not cool. Go get him. One thing I like about playing a two-hander in Skyrim, I think they did an amazing job with it. Didn't play a two-hander much in Oblivion, and if I were to go back and play Oblivion, that's probably exactly what I would play. But in here, like I said, I don't know really how much different it is, but I think they did a really good job with it. Is the whole blocking and bashing and swinging thing. It's kind of an offensive / minor defensive weapon. In fact, on top of that, for those of you wondering why maybe blocking isn't quite as effective, there's actually a note on that during one of the loading screens. Is for whatever reason they consider a one-handed weapon a better blocking weapon than a two-handed, though it does a little less damage. And I guess that's for balance. It makes sense. But you would think a two-handed sword would be able to block more than a little, say, one-handed sword or even a dagger, but apparently not. But still, with the two-handed sword, you get it's a little slower, it's a little more cumbersome, but you get more of those power swings. You know, you feel like you're a little more barbaric going in there, right? Just with both hands, closing your eyes and swinging as hard as you can. And the blocking and being able to bash with the hilt of your weapon, I think that's really cool. And you can actually knock enemies out of their power attacks doing so. So it actually takes a little coordination and almost a little more skill. I mean, dual wielding has its own berserk, barbaric thing going on with it too. I really like it. I think the animations are pretty cool, even if they're simplistic. I think the kill animations are really good, depending on what weapon you use. But then again, I don't know. The two-hander has some cool kill moves too. But the whole fighting, just the mechanics, I really like with the two-handed weapon. And how many Forsworn are there? Seriously, this place was infested. I like walked into their major base of operations or something. This is like their main fort. Seems like it. Hope that was the last one. Oh wow, nice. I'll take that. Very cool. Take another one of those too. Actually, I have more longbows than I'll ever know what to do with, but whatever. The longbow we're using now, we've had for, what, forever? It's doing like, what, I don't know, 11 points, 12 points of damage or some stupid crap like that. Well, actually, it's doing more damage due to our archery skill upgrades than it is in actual weapon damage itself. That's sad. But we'll actually go upgrade one of those fully and then throw a dual enchantment. We're not even going to put Soul Trap on it. We're going to put something like, I don't know, probably Frost and Lightning. I don't know, maybe a damage over time. Probably Fire and Lightning. Considering I usually deal with mages at range too, I wouldn't mind doing a little damage to their magic. It probably won't make any difference. On this difficulty, their mana pool is probably in the 1,000 or plus range or something anyway. Probably just be insignificant, but doesn't matter. You got to throw different kinds of damage on there anyway, so probably go with Lightning and Fire. I'd say damage over time, especially if they're at distance too. Go ahead and let them burn, you know, while they're way over there somewhere, getting hit with arrows. Absorb Health is actually not a bad one either, because it hurts them and heals you at the same time. But if you're at range, I don't think that's really an issue. I will probably put that on both my swords. And not sure what I'm going to roll with on the other one. Really consider Lightning also with the swords, in that I don't think there's any dragons that are immune to lightning. That's my primary thought. And also, you know, like I say, any damage you might do to mages, I was like, well, it'd be nice to hurt them magically as well as their health. But I don't think you can do enough magic damage to stop them from two-shotting you with ice storms anyway. It's like, you might, even if you could drain their mana pool after 10, 12, 15, 20 hits or whatever it takes, by then they've killed you anyway, because they've hit you with 2 or 3 ice storms because they spam that shit. So, or just zap the crap out of you with lightning or something. But as far as fighting dragons, I don't think any of them are immune to lightning. You have Frost, you have Fire, and I think Alduin is considered Spirit or something. I think he's a little different. Not really sure. But maybe I'm thinking I might have Dragon Age Inquisition in my head there, but not sure. But anyway, whatever. I don't think any of them are resistant or immune to lightning. Like Fire does nothing, obviously, to the fire-based dragons, and Frost doesn't do anything to the frost ones. But if you can get the solid damage, period, against any dragon with lightning, that really might be the way to go. So probably absorb health and lightning in there, and then be a little more Rambo going in there. The only bad side of that is with absorb health, your weapons drain really fast. I mean, like 3 times fast, 10 times faster than with other enchantments. It really is the most costly one per strike. But it does let you hang in there and keep going. Need to get Azura's Star. I think after we're done with the... I don't know if we'll get Serana first. I'm really wanting to go start the Dawn Guard thing. I really am. We've done quite a bit of mainline questing. We're already up to going and finding What's-His-Face down in the Ratway. We're up to that point in the main story, and we've already started the Civil War in that. Okay, so you make someone High King or something. I mean, I don't know. It's a little flat. And I think there's a good point to that. One of the viewers made a point. He's like, well, because he made a really good point regarding the Mages Guild. To me, he's like, well, magic kind of takes a back seat in Skyrim. Nobody really respects it. The mages are kind of off up there, you know, more to stay out of the Nord's way than anything else, you know, because the Nords really don't want them in their face. And then what they've done up there at the college, everyone's, of course, attributing the disaster that destroyed their bridge and destroyed half the town. They're attributing that to the mages, whether it was their fault or not, I don't know. But whatever. And so they're already not trusted. So they kind of take a back seat. So their storyline is not quite as well developed because it doesn't have as much place in the land. It's not near as accepted as magic was in Cyrodiil. Really good point. And I'm like, that really put it in its place, so I can forgive that. Well, the Civil War, kind of the same. You think, well, Skyrim for the Nords and it being a big deal. Yeah, but in light of a dragon attack that's ending the world, Skyrim or no, actually, it kind of takes a back seat too. I mean, you do a bit of stuff, and there's really nothing complicated about it, but what really is complicated about it? The Stormcloaks want the Imperials the hell out of their land, right? The Imperials have no place in Skyrim anymore. Not saying they didn't, but they don't anymore. That's the point, and I think it's a valid point. I think it's absolutely 100% correct. And so, I get it, but it's really not any more complicated than that. Get them the hell up out of there. Don't let them place a puppet king on the throne to give the Thalmor even more presence and bearing over the land. You're guaranteed to lose them to the Thalmor. People say, well, you need the Empire. Just the opposite. The Empire is a surefire guarantee of destruction for not just Skyrim, but everybody if they take place in Skyrim, because the more land that the Thalmor hold by means of the Empire being their lapdogs, then the worse off it is for everybody later. Don't let them have a foot in an embassy and a say-so in all the government and all the politics and spread their propaganda and their hate. They've already got a bunch of the Nords turned against Talos, just out of fear, if nothing else, because they don't want to get kidnapped out of their homes in the middle of the night and dragged barefoot through the snow by Imperial soldiers to Thalmor torture chambers. I don't blame them. What man, woman, and child really wants to? And not every Nord's a soldier, although they all seem pretty willing to fight. Except for the bitches who turn their back on Talos and join the Empire. Yeah, and they need to go with the Empire. And they do. They do through the course of the game as we go along. When we get an opportunity. But, anyway, it's really not complicated. So, you know, on the same note, I can kind of see the Civil War being a little bland. There is, I think, a political moment when you deal with the Blades and the Greybeards and stuff later on. I remember there being something of a moot that, you know, an official moot that you hold or whatever to dictate exactly what presence the Empire holds in the land. Don't remember what all story things you have to do in order to get to that point. It seems that you have to deal with a particular dragon. I won't get too much into that. I don't think it'd be a spoiler to anybody anyway, but just to be fair, particular dragon, if you deal with them a certain way and get Delphine, make her happy in a certain way, which I'm really not a fan of doing, then I think you get an opportunity to dig a little deeper off into the Civil War and the politics. But I think it requires that, and that's something I'm probably not willing to do. I think I did once just for the playthrough. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was for an achievement or something. I don't remember. Anyway, whatever, and I'm not a fan of that. There's a particular dragon who we'll meet later, and you'll know who that dragon is because you'll hear me just talking about him like he's my BFF, my best friend forever, man, because he's really, really, really cool. Coolest dragon ever. One of the coolest NPCs ever. And wow, thanks. Okay, the only reason I didn't know that was there is because I walked over because I don't trigger that crap. And leave it up to Uthgerd. She can't take a hit, and so she's going to show me that I can't take a hit either. Okay, well, thanks a lot for that, trying to get me killed. I'm over there just trying to grab this soul gem, minding my own business, and get a friggin' shipping log right to the face. Anyway, so we'll get to all that later. And we'll get in the main story at some point. Finish the main story. I'd like to have Serana first anyway, because she's going to require us at some point to go down into Blackreach. Blackreach is where you need to go for the Augma Infinium thing for Hermias Mora. Should we get into that? I don't know. A lot of our skills are already up there. Might be a good idea to do it for magic. Enchanting's the only thing I have at 100. Everything else is lacking. So I may take advantage of the Augma Infinium just for magic. Thinking about that, I mean, it'd be worth doing. Like I say, enchanting would be something of a waste. But, yeah, might as well. And then, anyway, that sends you down there. There's a main story thing that sends you down there. And so, and then it's one of the Dawnguard things sends you down there. So, kind of go kill 3 birds with 1 stone, actually, if we decide to. But, anyway, go get her first. And I will start Dawnguard anyway, so that's that. What's also kind of cool is having not seen Serana in a long time. In fact, I don't think I've messed with any of the Dawnguard stuff on PlayStation yet. When I played through Skyrim on PlayStation, it was just to get the Platinum. The Platinum trophy, because I thought the game was worthy of having the Platinum for. I really picked my favorite games, the ones that really, you know, grabbed me and held me the most. And those are the ones that I usually try to complete. But I didn't, you know, you could get the Platinum. The DLCs don't count towards that. Not like Xbox, where you can have a complete game, and as soon as a DLC comes out for that game, they rob you of your complete game title or whatever. And so, yeah, PlayStation doesn't do that. Once you get your Platinum for the base game and whatever achievements come with the game on release, that gets your Platinum. Everything after that is just, you know, extra trophies. Not a big deal, just for my own personal, I guess, library or whatever of trophies, my own bragging rights to myself. The thing that you talk about that nobody else cares about, but I could say, hey, I completed this one. Skyrim was 1, you know, Fallout 3. Didn't mind playing that anyway. Play that over and over again. Gonna actually come Halloween, we're going to, and we're gonna stream it too, because, well, that's just how we roll. I think it needs to be done until the 10th comes out, and it's all about Fallout 4. And, well, let's hope I have some videos under my belt that I can upload to you guys once a day, because when I'm not doing that, I'm going to be staying up 20 hours a day playing Fallout 4 for a few days, so I get something worthwhile to put up on that. Be interesting coming up with character builds for that one. That's going to be it's going to be different. So, and a Let's Play ought to be a lot of fun. If the game is near as big as what they're talking about with so much explorable stuff, and I'm guessing they probably have a lot of underground things and stuff like that too. Not just, you know, surface wandering, but a lot more like maybe Fallout 3 was, hopefully, anyway. A lot of underground explorer, but oh man, I hope they bring subways back. Oh, you can forgive me here. This was like 30 lock picks. That was 5 minutes of trying to pick that one lock, and I couldn't get it open. I couldn't tell you how many picks I just went through. It was ridiculous. Yep. Epic fail over and over. But anyway, I hope they bring subways back. Fallout 4. Oh man, please bring back the subways. The creepy ass dark subways where you might run into anything, from giant ants to raiders to ghouls to all the above. There was an adventure and a story in each one, and everyone in connected to another one, and you never knew where you were going to pop out above ground until you finally got the whole game memorized. But up until that point, it was always a surprise. Walk out into Vernon Square and get surrounded by 50 super mutants and raiders going at it, and all these abandoned buildings to loot. And come on, man, that shit was just the baddest shit ever in the whole history of video games ever. That was awesome. And so I need some more of that in my life. I really do. I hope they have something like that. I don't know if Boston has subways. I'm almost scared to go look, because if I find out they don't, then most likely Bethesda won't put them in there. Now this hag raven, how many times do we have to kill this thing? Okay, well, we really can't take the fireballs. That's a little annoying. She's just warping. Keeps warping out of here. Alright. Well, if you don't warp back down to the entrance and leave while we're working our way up, then we're gonna see you eventually. Don't let us keep finding you. At some point, you're not gonna get away. That's all I have to say. Freaking hag raven, nasty ass. When I see those traps, I spring them. Because if I don't, I'll forget about them, and they're gonna land on my head at some point. Alright. You know, I'm just going to pick this lock just because it's a lock. In fact, I remember there is absolutely nothing behind this door. Okay, well. Okay. It looks like it wants to go right there. Or not. There we go. Cool. Yeah, nothing in here. Alright, now one thing that I don't remember is, where is the assassin's loot? I remember it being in here somewhere where you mess with the hag ravens and stuff. What? Take that. Oh, nothing. Okay. I think with all these master and expert locks and all this crap around here, that would be something worth having. Let's make sure no more surprises. No more witches, no more hag ravens, no more demons and dragons and what have you. No, I guess not. Alright. Wasn't even thinking about getting a word, a shout. That's cool. Well, if you ever need to enchant something, I guess you know where to go. Alright, very cool. That is a really, really neat shout to use with Dawnbreaker. Maybe I need to go pick Dawnbreaker back up and see if we can't go fight some undead just to get the explosion so we can slow time and check out how super cool and badass it is. Oh man, really kind of need to do that. Okay, I know we probably shouldn't leave this area. Okay, I think where the quest arrow is, that's like behind a hidden door. It looks like it's off the map, but it's not. Alright, let's go back and see if we can't find it. I thought I remembered it being in this area. I've slept since the last time I was here, but... And I think when we opened that other door, we closed these doors or something. I guess, let me try it. Yeah, there we go. Alright, good deal. Okay, yeah. Alright, there we go. I remember. Now, one thing I notice here, this dude looks like exceptionally preserved. Very well preserved. Don't know how long he's been here, but if he's like supposed to be some ancient Brotherhood brother or something. Whatever. Anyway, that's like, I guess, a little bit upgraded version of the, oh wow, Daedric Bow? Really? Okay, well, be lucky to find a merchant that has enough gold just to cover that.
Huh?
Anyway, kind of an upgraded version like the Thieves Guild armor when you upgrade it. Although you really only upgrade one piece, but I think once you're done with all the stuff, you do a few things, you finally kind of restore the Thieves Guild, whatever, blah, 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 and then you eventually get sent on a similar mission, I believe, and there's an old thief, and he's wearing a set of armor similar to that. Seems like it might be in a Redoubt too. I don't remember, I just remember there being it's named after a person too. It's a particular set. I don't remember what it's called. Similar stats to Thieves Guild armor, but a little better or something. Like Ancient Thieves Guild armor, or Old, or Master Thieves Guild armor, or something, or whatever. Or somebody's Thieves Guild armor. Anyway, whatever. Alright, she summoned Ice Rays? Okay, well. Two of them, huh? Bitch. Take that. Ice Rays aren't just owning me instantly like they used to. Her fireballs aren't one-shotting me either. I mean, they're hurting, but they're not killing me outright. So good deal. And look at that, Uthgar's just down immediately. That's so sad because I went on talking so much about what a tank she was, and she was just handling everything. 4 or 5 Draugr Deathlords. She didn't give a shit. And now all of a sudden she's just 1 and 2 shotted by anything and everything. I know she's out leveled here, but that's not it. It's not that these enemies are like in their 40s and I think she caps at 30. That's fine. I have played with her well past this, and she's done just fine. But in this case, like somebody said, she got hit with the bug. Maybe it's a certain way or at a certain point you hit them with Mark of Death, or maybe if you hit them with Mark of Death and they go down too. And then the fight ends and they're still stuck with Mark of Death. Maybe it lingers and just stays with them forever. Maybe it's something like that. Or if their armor, or if they suffer Mark of Death throughout the entire course of Mark of Death, as long as it lasts, like 30 or 60 seconds or something. Maybe then that affects them forever, perpetually. I don't know. Whatever causes it, she apparently has it. So I essentially gave Uthgard AIDS. And, yeah. She can't essentially resist anything, and that sucks. Very, very much not cool at all. She's definitely my favorite of the followers. So, you know, Still nice having her along. She's really cool. Well, she can hang out for a while longer. All right, so the next step is now that we have the gourmet's identity or his writ of passage, so we can get in there to cook for the Emperor. Nice, tasty meal. Hopefully it doesn't give him heartburn. Huh? Get it? Anyway, oh, nice. About time. Friggin' vampire attack. I know some of you guys, you suffer this every time you go into town at night, right? And, we've seen almost none of this, but here we go. Just got to be real careful because you're more likely to hit a townsperson than you are the actual vampire. And, anyway, so we'll go meet with Captain Morrow or whatever, whose son we actually set up for all this bullshit. And we'll get in there and we'll convince the chef that we're the gourmet, come to make one of our exotic dishes or what have you, to honor the Emperor, who's supposed to be here to eat. Go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity to raise my restoration a little bit. Get Uthgerd back up off her feet. I need to be really careful not to hit Serana at any point with Mark for Death. At any point. In fact, if she's anywhere just near me, then just avoid her at all costs. It's alright. I'm going to go do a little bit of buying and selling, wait till daytime, and then we'll go meet with Cap tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and finish up the Dark Brotherhood stuff. Go ahead and assassinate an empire, right? Alright, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top. If you want to catch the rest of this Let's Play up to this point, click that image in the middle. It should send you to the playlist, right? And I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.